Joining me now is Mamdani's opponent, longtime New Yorker, Republican New York City mayoral candidate, and the founder of the Guardian Angels, Curtis Sliwa. Curtis, thanks very much for being here. What is your reaction to Mamdani's win for the Democrat primary?
Hey, number one, every poll indicates affordability, cost of living are the two most important issues in the minds of all the voters. Quality of life and crime, 3 and 4. There's no doubt about it. It has not changed. And so what I am is I'm the person who has always said to the blue-collar working class, the small landlords in the outer boroughs, the mom-and-pop shop owners who are being driven out, improve, don't move. But in advance of that, under Mayor Eric Adams in these last 2 years, the greatest transfer of wealth has occurred from New York City to Florida in the history of our city. 125,000 wealthy have fled, and they've taken $21 billion of wealth and equity with them. You can't blame that on Zoran Mamdani. Obviously, there'll be floodgates if he's elected. Meantime, I'm the person who says, look, we have to make sure there's no property tax with those elderly people, those senior citizens who earn $100,000 or less, because we want them to stay. We're going to freeze property tax for the small landlords and for the mom and shop pop owners, because Mamdani says freeze the rent. No, freeze the property tax for those people who have 1 foot out the door, and all these fees and fines, these speed cameras, congestion pricing, which has been a disaster, which has caused an economic decline in lower Manhattan. Now, Adams, Cuomo, and Mamdani are for that. Therefore, the city of Yes, which helps corporate developers move into residential neighborhoods and put up huge apartment buildings, they get a tax break for 40 years, and eventually in 10 years, you'll have no affordable apartments. So you need things to be done now, and we need to keep the blue-collar working class people here in the outer boroughs. They are the backbone of the city. They are the workers. And if they flee, then we are going to continue to fall into the fiscal abyss. I'm the only one talking about these issues. Again, improve, don't move, to keep them here. The other three candidates, Adams, Cuomo, and Mamdani, have done things and are advocating things that will drive them out, too.
Well, I mean, Curtis, one of the things that Mamdani wants to do is have free grocery stores. You know, this has people like John Catsimatidis saying, I'm going to close shop and close the store. You may see small businesses go out of business if, in fact, they have to offer everything for free, Curtis. So what's your take on that? And give us your specific plan to fix New York City.
First of all, there are businesses that have already closed up. You walk through the streets of Manhattan, the major thoroughfares, there are empty storefronts everywhere. A lack of supermarkets, obviously. If the city has to subsidize, like socialism or communism would, supermarkets to compete with the private sector, that's going to be a dismal failure. And in fact, prices are just going to increase. They're not going to decrease because of the lack of supply and the huge demand. We know that. I've been to Havana, Cuba. I've seen how that has been a failure. But what you have to do is you have to impose public safety on the city. That's the number 3 concern. We don't have enough cops. We need 7,000 more cops. We need to hire them, train them, vet them, and get them out into the streets. The subways are the veins and arteries of the city. That's where a millionaire can meet working class, poor, and impoverished. Unfortunately, there are too many homeless and emotionally disturbed persons who live in the subway system. And that will change when I'm mayor on day 1. And the most important thing is we have to give people a feeling that there is a positivity in the air for being a New York City resident. Right now, too many are going online and seeing what opportunities exist in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Tennessee, and parts unknown. I'm going to draw that Maginot line. I'm going to say I'm the only New Yorker. Eric Adams lives in Fort Lee. Mamdani went back and forth to Uganda. And as you know, Cuomo hasn't been in New York City since 1990. I know I have the heartbeat and the pulse of New York City residents. I know what they want. I know what they need, and I will do the things that are necessary to keep them here, and that is lower the cost of living. The Citizens Budget Commission has rated my plan as the only one that will cut the budget. Adams, Cuomo, Mondami will increase the city budget even more. And as you can see, we're not getting services for the money we pay.
Yeah.
And $41 billion for education, and the children are not even competing at a fourth grade reading and mathematics level with the rest of the nation.
But Curtis, are you going to be able to work with President Trump? Let's face it, the reason that New York is even better today than it was 6 months ago is because President Trump closed the border.
Well, of course. I was the one in advance going out there, and especially in the outer boroughs, protesting against all the migrant shelters that were being placed in residential neighborhoods by this Mayor Eric Adams when he was the Biden of Brooklyn.
All right, Curtis, we'll be watching you work on this. Thanks very much for joining us this weekend.
My pleasure.
Curtis Sliwa.